Picking out my favorite books every year is so hard. So here are my favorite romances. You've already gotten the other genres. Here are my top 10 romances of 2025. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Shelbey in the Book Club. I am Shelby Monet, and we're going to go over my top 10 romances of 2025. It is so hard picking my favorites. As someone that reads over 100 books a year, it's just so hard. But here goes nothing, okay? If you would like to read or purchase any of these books, they are all linked down below in the underneath a bar. It is called the underneath a bar because it is underneath the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it for real this time. This is in no particular order, okay? No particular order. First up, we have the Surrender series by the Tasha Marie. This had to go on this list because it is a set of romance books that I think about all the time. Loyal meets a 20-year-old, a 28-year-old, excuse me, Honey Lake, who is going to this luxury island for a business retreat. And nobody is offering to sponsor her business, and she's feeling defeated. And she goes to sit at the bar, she's feeling all sad, and this fine ass man with this salt and pepper beard comes up to her and is just like, I got a proposition for you. And the proposition was he would give her money for her business if she spent the weekend with him and surrendered to him completely. And she was like, I ain't no prostitute. He was like, I know. So she went. And baby, turned our girl everywhere but loose. But it was only for the weekend. So after they left each other, that was it. Surrender to, or Surrender Your Heart is the second part, and it is a year later. And she gets an invitation from him. But this time, he's like, I know I'm in love with her. I need to do what I'm supposed to do as a man. So it just was, I loved it. And both were equally spicy, which is very important. They were very good. Then we have Don't Run. I didn't realize that I like A Man in a Mask. I didn't realize that. This was a Halloween short by Sean. Sean is one of my favorite Black romance authors. She is very, very spicy. Okay. Love her down. This one is about a girl who gets invited to this sex party for Halloween, and she gets to kind of live out her fantasy, but she doesn't know who invited her. And she gets there. Her fantasy is a man in a pumpkin head thing, and he turned her every way but loose. And then at the end, we find out who it is. It was a good time. Also, something that I think about often. Then we have Loyalty, Lust, Love. This is by Kay Shanae. I love a second chance romance sort of thing. So these two best friends have known each other since they were kids. They were both kind of the like outcasts in school when they were younger, and didn't admit to each other until later that they were in love with each other. So how the story is told is we get present day, we get the past, because the male main character, his father passes away. So of course everybody is together to support their friend, and the tension between them, you can cut it with a knife, and they just have to face their past in order to come to the conclusion that they're in love with each other and that they're meant to be together. So it was really cute. And it's 181 pages, but it was perfect. The pacing of it was perfect. The love story, like, it had you kicking your feet. I love the past parts of it so that we really could see what and why in all of the things. Like, it was awesome. Then we have The Crownless King by Drea Anderson. Drea Anderson feeds my soul when it comes to black creatures. Y'all know that I'm always on the look for a black vampire, a black fairy, a black I love a black creature, and these are all like she'll give you a full length book. She does have some novellas that are really good, but she gives you a full length book. So this one um tells the story of Amaya. She can control chaos magic, and there is a vampire that some of his some of the stone that the chaos magic is in goes missing, and we realize that it's her uncle's fault. The vampire king comes to handle her uncle, sees her, decides that she is attractive, and kidnaps her. But also, in turn, ends up like helping her mother. Like he did it because he was attracted to her and he couldn't help his attraction. Um, but also he had to stand on business. Like I am the king and somebody stole from me. So it was a kind of like a Cinderella story. Not Cinderella. Belle. Who is that? Beauty and the Beast. Think Beauty and the Beast, but vampire. Next, we have Topaz. If you don't want Dixon Wild Horse, I'll take him. Kate Love is hilarious, but she is a spy and she gets caught up. Her daddy is a thief and he stole from Dixon Wild Horse and he said, "Listen, I ain't got your money, but I have a daughter that's a virgin and she not married. You can have her." And Dixon Wild Horse went to go get her and was like, "You know what? Actually, I will take her. I will," because she was in a bit of a bind herself. So he was helping her out. But it was funny. It was funny. They go on this journey together. I learned a lot about mail order brides from this book. But Dixon was just he was a big old strapping man. I love him. I love Dixon Wild Horse. Then we have Plus Size Player. Y'all know I'm a big Danielle Allen fan. Plus Size Player tells the story of Nina Ford, who is the second friend in the Curve series friend group. And Miss Mama, you know, I might have to take a note from her book. And she is like, date them all, girl. You got one that's funny, one that, you know, is smart, one that's, you know, does things or whatever. But she's dating this guy and he does do all of the things, but she kind of realizes that she is afraid to put all her eggs in one basket because she doesn't want to get hurt. But then there is also a thing with her job. So she's an influencer. She gets a contract with this company, and it interferes with the little relationship that they have going on. So that was a bit of a spin, but I really enjoyed it. And I think what I enjoyed about it was reading it with the book club. We had an amazing book discussion. It was one of the best book discussions of the year. There was something about this book that kind of made us all just whimsy and free and you know, inhibitions to the wind. We were just it was a good big old girls chat and I loved it. I'll always remember that one. Then I have Captured, another Beverly Jenkins book. Are you surprised? No. This one actually tells the story of the Levesque family grandparents. So um he is a pirate. And he has his own land, but he stops slave ships purposely. He meets this woman who was um it was a she was with her owners on a ship and he was like, you don't have to do that anymore, you're free. But her children were back in America and she was like, I can't, as much as I want to like stay with you and be with you or whatever, my children, I can't leave my children. And what does that man do? He went up and went and got her babies. That's what he did. I just a time. And he was nasty. I see where the Levesque boys get it from. Um, then another Dre Anderson book, The Friend Contract. So this is about two best friends. They are shifters, but they are two different types of shifters. So Gabe is a bear shifter, and Naomi is a panther shifter. But there's like something up with her powers. So she doesn't fully shift, if I remember correctly, but she's like kind of like a high ranking in her pack and they've been best friends forever. They're obviously in love with each other, but she they have to sort it out or whatever. So it's very much them trying to um Gabe trying to prove to her like we are meant to be together. Again, the shifter, the black shifter representation is all that I ever need for real. And then last but certainly not least, you probably can guess this one. If you've been watching my channel all year, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably can guess this book. One, two, three. Emergence and Ascendance, the third book in the collector series by Casey Mills. Christian in Scotland. Christian, if there is one for me, it's him. I love the BDSM representation in this book. I love that there isn't like full-fledged intercourse until like way into the book, because it shows you that sex is beyond just sticking things in holes. Huh? And there's a lot of especially in the kink community, there's a lot of surrendering that has to be done. And she had to learn how to trust. So her friend sets her up and tells her to go to this sex club. Like, get a dom, girl. I'm gonna sign you up, you're gonna go, and maybe you're gonna like it. And she does like it. She fights against it a little bit, but she does like it. And he is against relationships or whatever until he meets the one. And I just it was good. The whole series is good, but this one was my favorite. So that was my top 10 romance of 2025. If you have read any of these, please let me know which ones were your favorite. If you're gonna read any of these now, let me know. You should. And if no one has told you today, I love you. You're kind, you're smart, you're important. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.